Hello and welcome to my channel, Paranormal Oracle, Not Your Mother's Tarot. My name is Pat and I'm so glad you're here. Just want to take a second to remind you to subscribe to my channel. I'd appreciate that so much. So today we'll continue with the project I started way back when, before life intervened on so many different levels. I'm going to continue reading from my memoir, Paranormal Ponderings, a Memoir. This is a book based on my lifetime of unusual experiences. It was written and illustrated by yours truly. This is the book I always knew I would write someday, even in childhood. My book is available both on my website and through Amazon. I'll talk more about that at the end. Last time you may recall, I read two chapters, and the chapters are short, about my experiences with angelic, for lack of a better word, entities. I actually had two of those encounters, one in infancy and one as an adult. This time I will read from my chapter about my past life recollections as a child. My book represents my lifetime of experiences, which for me has been a series of clues, some small and some big, that there's so much more to this life than we know. This knowledge has been an obsessive facet of my life since childhood. Anyway, here we go. The name of this chapter is Moon Maid and Past Lives. We make a beeline from church down two Sunday morning blocks directly to Truder's Bakery. The aroma of yeasty donuts and chocolate wafts through the air long before we hit the door. I push between the stockinged legs and folded newspapers of the church-going people to get to the front, where my eyes can ravish the neat doilied rows of cookies that are a wave of sweetness behind the polished glass. From left to right, powdered sugar gives way to chocolate dipped, then rainbow sprinkles, then finally jellies. My mother becomes a part of the larger crush of adults behind me, while behind the counter the accented voices of the Truder family shout directions at each other, and the murmur of the crowd behind me is broken only by the occasional jingle of the door, followed by the click, click, click of the ticket dispenser. The only real decision will be between the sweet, smooth glaze of a black and white or the powdery crumble of a Linzer tart, overflowing with jam. I am allowed one cookie for the walk home, and I will decide on one of these because they're the big ones. Each has its finer points. You can alternate your bites of the former between its contrasting sides, or precisely limit them to one side or the other until you are left with an all vanilla or all chocolate cookie. The latter, Linzer tart, is more haphazard, in that if you don't immediately lick the raspberry jam from the sides where it oozes out, you're in danger of leaving a trail of blood red dribbles down the lace layers of your dress. The powdered sugar is another consideration. You can lick it off in several large swoops, or allow it to billow everywhere with each bite. It will take me exactly half of the 6 block walk home to complete negotiations with the cookie of my choice. This is in one hand, while red and white string digs deeply into the other from the weight of the jelly donuts that swing in a box while I skip behind my mother. Sunday mornings belong to my mother, but the afternoon is all Dad. My dad lives on an island in the living room called the couch. He sleeps there, eats there, watches television there, and drinks endless cups of milky tea there, while the ashtray beside him fills with Lucky Strike cigarette butts. My mother's frenzied energy spills over and is everywhere, while my father is stationary, bounded by the island couch. I know that this has something to do with his heart, which is sick. When I think of sick, I think of pale and quiet and feeble. He is none of these. He is large and solid and loud, and so I often forget that he's sick at all. I forget when I squeeze tightly next to him and we marvel at how our hands look exactly the same. Mine are miniature replicas of his bulky square ones. Despite our small apartment, conversations between my parents are held at the top of their voices so that they can hear each other over the television and the banging of pots. Some days the island couch is not an open affair, and my presence there is an annoyance. I'm being too noisy, or my questions are endless, or I'm blocking the television. On those days, my mother escorts me out of the living room and into her territory. Sundays are different. On Sundays, I am welcomed on the island and can sit smushed right up next to my father, or on his lap while he reads the funnies to me. He's a different dad on Sundays. Side by side we sit, each holding an edge of the funny pages. Dad reads the captions in a dramatic news announcer's voice. Little Orphan Annie, Dondi, and all female characters have a high pitched, breathy slur, while the males are a lower pitched version of the news announcer. Our favorite is Dick Tracy with his two-way wrist radio and parade of odd characters. We follow the storyline twists as the house fills with the aroma of roast beef or Virginia ham. Our favorite is Moon Maid with her platinum hair, giraffe-like horns, and magnetic air car. Dad and I talk about many things during these times. I tell him about the memories I have, memories from before. Before when I wasn't 5, but when I was a grown up. He has a million questions about these lives. I tell him details about the places that I lived and the things that I did. I tell him about how I left that place and how I came to be here. These are the memories of an adult. I'm frustrated because there are things he should remember about those times too, but he can't or won't. He yells out to my mother, "She's lived before." Pots rattle in response. "I think this one is from the moon," he adds. "I'm the moon maid now. Soon I will too forget." I will be left with a single frame in my mind. In it, I walk briskly past a white picket fence. In that snapshot memory, I can clearly see the fence from above, an adult's perspective. This is an image I will keep with me for some unknown reason. Not long after these Sunday afternoons, my father's heart will finally take him, and with him, my secondhand account of my memories of lives before this one. So that was my experience. I wish so much that I had more than that one very scant memory left of my past life recollections. I think the subject of past lives is so fascinating. Thanks for listening, guys. I would love to hear your experiences or thoughts on the subject of past lives. Please comment down below. I'd love to hear your stories. All the info on my book, Paranormal Ponderings and Memoir, and on my cards, The Paranormal Oracle, can be found in the description below. Do check out my website, paranormalponderings.com. You can read about how these amazing cards came to me in a dream and how they came into being as a collaborative effort between my guides and myself. My book can be found on Amazon, where it's available in both hard copy and on Kindle. For those of you with Kindle Unlimited, love it. You can also borrow it for free. My book is also free on my website in PDF form. Once again, I'm so happy you're here. Please subscribe and comment down below. Thanks so much for watching.